We're recording now. So, hi, Peter. Professor Peter.
Hi, David. How are you doing?
Good. And you're looking well.
I'm feeling good. Thank you.
I've got a little bit more hair than you. I've got a little bit more hair.
I'm very envious.
And I see the St Kilda brass. I want to ask you one thing first. You spoke of the last time we spoke on this chess channel. You spoke of that that there are messages in music from the, particularly around was it Shostakovich and that sort of thing. And can you just elaborate, speak a little bit on that, just quickly, if that's okay with you?
Yes, sure. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit like what we might be talking about shortly. Sometimes you can't say something for the risk of being arrested, and Shostakovich couldn't criticize Stalin openly, otherwise he would be like Solzhenitsyn and sent to Siberia and a concentration camp. So he couldn't. But the good thing about music is it's hard to translate it. So, Stalin wanted all this music to be, make the workers work, be patriotic. But what Shostakovich did is he made it hollow. And so you got these tunes, but they somehow are a bit hollow. And then he's got all this mechanistic music. And it's sort of, I imagine a lot of his friends and a lot of the listeners knew full well that this was like, what's the way of putting it? Like a piss take. Like actually, it means the opposite. Yes, it's got what Stalin wanted, but it's very sort of hollow. And, so you can put in music, you can put things in that are ironic and sarcastic and snarling trombones, and occasionally the clarinets are going little trills, and thankfully Stalin was a heathen. He never went to concerts much anyway, so I doubt that he heard it, but all the people who heard it, they knew full well what Shostakovich was doing, and I think there have been other composers who do that sort of thing as well,
Stalin was the one that you had to applaud the longest for, wasn't he? Or one of the longest?
Oh, yes.
You had to
he was one of those people who had to stand up in the room and clap and, laud it. Yeah. So you should be a student of Russian history, David.
Yeah, I'd start with music.
Good man. Good answer.
Of course, I have to say that. To keep in tempo with this. Now, this conversation that we're having is a little bit sort of like an exceptional one, because we're talking about the word debacle of the state of affairs between, for chess players around the world, which this being a chess channel, it comes up on maybe the newsworthy or the quiet worthy. Do not say anything, do not pass go. But like about the saga, or whatever the dynamics are going on between Grandmaster Hans Niemann and Grandmaster World Chess Champion, soon to be leaving that notch in 2023, Magnus Carlsen. And so we're going to discuss, we're just going to say, you in particular, Professor, we're going to discuss that what's happened since the St. Louisa chess game, where Magnus was white and he lost the first time in a long time with the white pieces against Hans Niemann, who happened to play a move that he reported or purportedly said in the interview that he knew that Magnus plays this move on move 5. in the transposition position. I mean, both the players are extremely talented chess players, of course. Like Hans Niemann is such a great chess player. I've watched him playing some chess, and but they are different personalities, I will say. They are completely different personalities. So, and I've also seen the interview this morning where Magnus is having his first interview with Oslo TV or whatever it is in Norway, I suppose, and Norwegian, the Norwegian rat opening, that one that you love so much.
Oh yes,
So
yes.
anyway, the microphone is now yours. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you the remote control, and if you can make your comments, because you're quite studious about these sorts of things.
Well, I've been watching it from afar through YouTube and things. So I know that Magnus played, quite an unusual line of the Queen's, the Nimzo Indian defense, and Niemann said afterwards that it was a miracle. He had just studied this very line in the morning, which a lot of people are a little bit incredulous about. But apparently Magnus had played, he played a fianchetto, a G3 pawn very early on, which was very unusual in that.
Move five.
And apparently had done it once before with Wesley So, back in 2018 or 19 or something. And somehow Niemann had just seen that game that very morning. Now that's a bit weird. And as you say, and then later in that same tournament, he played against Alireza Firouzja. And at one stage he played a move where he moved his queen across to G3 or something. And the interviewer in Firouzja said, that's an insane move. And it was basically threatening a bishop to H6, and you couldn't take the pawn because and it was and Firouzja was saying it was insane, and he refused to. What Firouzja did, he just didn't enter any of the complications. He just made a very stable move and didn't accept a sacrifice, didn't do anything. And he said afterwards, and he was sort of very careful with his words, but he was implying that Niemann, if either had made this move because he had done an incredible amount of study and somehow knew this position, or that Niemann was getting some sort of help and assistance, and that the computer may well have thought that this was a computer move, not a human move. So Firouzja just thought, I'm not going there, because he could be getting computer help. He didn't say this, of course. This is my interpretation. And just at the moment, there's some sort of tournament going on Chess 24 with Magnus, and of course this is the famous thing where Magnus resigned on move 2 because he
move 1, 2,
move 1, and
move 3.
Niemann has since defeated Levon Aronian in 20 moves, and just defeated Ivanchuk also in a short time. And if Levon said that Niemann played a whole series of strange moves. Strange, it's like Firouzja says insane, Levon says strange, and Chucky looked very surprised and bemused, and I haven't heard what he said, if anything. But it seems like either Niemann is a genius who can play chess in a very sort of unorthodox way. So I'm saying that could be the case, or he's got an amazing memory and he's done some weird and wonderful preparation. Or the third thing, which I guess Magnus Carlsen might be implying without saying, is that actually there's some sort of computer assistance, some sort of cheating. And we don't really know. But now I'm going to put the microphone back to you, because I haven't seen this interview that Magnus Carlsen has just given on Norway
Oslo.
television. I
Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
he was very careful about what he said.
Oh, he was, and he said he's not going to go there. In my words, this is all in my words. He's not going to go there to some of the questions that the lady presenter was asking.
Yeah, he
but
can't.
it's but like you're not really you're not playing chess daily or something like that. But
No,
I mean, like,
no.
what does move to? What do you think is going on for Magnus? What would you think is going on for Magnus? Do you think it might be a personality thing? Do you think he might think? I only can come up with some. I came up with some ideas myself earlier on, like after St. Louisa, sort of like I didn't even know what was going on, but I was just watching this interview with Grandmaster Hans Niemann, and what was I saying? What was I saying? Like, I think it's there are, like I've watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with, if we're talking about cheating, which I'm not saying cheating has been enabled here somehow, but if we watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, there are ways and means of having someone in the crowd going, and or body language and that sort of thing, and maybe they haven't been checked for a device.
And what about cochlear implants? Someone said to me, you could even have a cochlear implant in the inner ear. I don't know. I mean, that seems far-fetched.
Scanned, and like, I mean, yeah, he could, but I mean, like, I'm not sure that Magnus is going to say that, but I don't know what Magnus is going to say, because he's been very much like a poker player, really, because he hasn't let anything out. In fact, he spoke well of his opponent, or he probably has to, and then also he spoke well about his mentor in the interview. But he says that after this tournament that he's in now, he will elaborate further, that sort of thing. So he's going to elaborate further later on. What that means, I don't know, but I know that 25 years ago, I had a floppy disk from my friend who's in IT in Christchurch, and now he's in England. He took off for me, and we were actually drinking buddies. We'd meet every couple of weeks and just have a half a dozen wee stubby beers or something. I don't drink like that anymore. I drink worse. But anyway, I know that you like your drink. And I only like a little bit. I like a slocky here and there. The Dutch would say just a week like that, but here and there.
Yeah,
I
like a little dram as a nightcap.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. That'll hold.
And a stubby of beer or a glass of wine occasionally.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that they're quite harmless. I
think. To come back to you, you're quite right. We got to give Niemann some credit. He does seem to be able to play amazing chess, and quite creative and quite unorthodox. And I wondered when the first game, the one he beat Magnus in the tournament, after 40 moves or whatever it was, the people seem to think that maybe somebody in Magnus's camp had possibly alerted him to what the opening might be. And so it could still be. I doubt that it's sophisticated computer embedded electronics. Someone even said maybe something up his backside. I've read something about something.
Hey Peter,
I don't know how that works. I don't know how
we've got a chess channel here that I like to keep polite.
Yes, exactly. I don't know how that works. So, but I don't think it's anything like that. I honestly don't, because as you say, they're scanning and checking like mad. But it could have been that he just that someone alerted him to possible opening that was going to come. I don't know.
Or maybe he. But I was thinking, is there anything such like? I'm not saying anything here, but is there anything such like technology now, like I was talking about this floppy disk. I had a floppy disk that I could just put in anyone's computer about 27 years ago. I could just put it in. It was a Fred Flintstone icon sort of thing for the disk. I'd just put it in your floppy disk drive.
Yeah.
And it would tell me all your passwords and everything.
Wow.
No joke.
Wow.
And like I used to have a joke with my friends. You know, like I'd be at their place. Just run the program, and I'd tell them there, I can't find the disk for the life of me anymore. I'd love to have it. But so that was the technology about 25 years ago, 26 years ago. So I mean, like, do you think that there's such a possibility as an app, or I'm not saying anything by that, because I might want to find out about it, because I might want to use it. Or look, do you think it might be a personality conflict, or maybe a recognizable conflict that you know, like he's 12, 13 years younger than Magnus, and Magnus is already alerted. Maybe it's all planned. Maybe they're just trying to bring chess into the
well, I was going to say it's a great drama, and it's captured world headlines. I even saw a story on New Zealand's website Stuff about, you know, world champion resigns game after one
or two,
you know, and it's on the Guardian and the BBC, and so look, certainly it was one way to put. I mean, there's that old adage: there's no such thing as bad publicity. All publicity is good publicity. So this drama between the veteran and the young guy, that's a good positioning, isn't it? Old Magnus, young hands. It could just be something like that. Do you think?
Yeah, that
upset Magnus. Has he said anything and called him an old man or anything? I don't know. Maybe he's insulted him.
The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, it's very possible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But is there any technology that can cloak a cell phone or a computer, or to emulate that computer?
Well, I don't know. Possibly. When you say could there be an app, I would say almost certainly yes. The app development is incredible now. You know, there are apps for everything.
Even getting your petrol.
And as you say, look, you can have an app that will store all your passwords and all the rest of it. Imagine if Hans Niemann could get into his opponent's computers to see what their preparation is, see the games they have been looking at, get an idea of what they might be playing. I mean, I'm not saying he's doing this. Imagine this.
We're not saying that. No, we're not saying that.
Imagine any of us could somehow see into someone else's computer. Well, hackers are happening all the time, and they're hacking huge government organizations who have got multiple firewalls and password protection and everything else, you know. So look, technology is just so moving so fast.
Yeah, and we can't we wouldn't be able to talk like this had the Grandmaster mentioned that he'd cheated in the past online. Now, do you think there might be an without the other fantasy line about maybe they're all in it together to you know, and then I'm going to resign, you know, wow, it's never happened before ever, you know, like it's almost like Bobby Fischer all over again, the drama that was. But do you think there's a possibility that oh man, my brain just goes to sleep. Must be the food still working in my stomach. I don't know. But do you think there's a possibility that that Magnus might, you know, like they're two different personalities. I mean, like,
yes, they're very much.
I mean,
so,
I only experienced this sort of drama in my own chess dramas myself. But do you think there's a, you know, like I'm the loud one, I'm the one who sings or whatever you call it, and laugh with one particular opponent that has now passed away, or some years ago, 8 years ago, and he would just start laughing at, and he's got the same name as the grandmaster we're talking about, without going into detail.
Yes, yes.
But do you think there's some sort of thing that Magnus is a person who wants to present chess in a real positive way, and then someone comes along and they've already cheated, they've publicly announced that they've cheated, and so have I. I've cheated when I was 16 or so, 15, 16. It's easy to do, especially if there's a bookstall there, and I've announced that on this channel. But do you think that there might be a sort of a possibility that Magnus Carlsen may have an attitude towards the purity of chess, and that because he has someone who's openly saying, "Oh, I cheat, so what? Get over it. It happened. I've done my time, but I even won some prizes." I think I heard. I think he won some prizes, and he's been banned from chess.com, blah blah blah. And so, what do you got? What do you have to say?
Well, I think you're right. I think that Magnus, I would say I would suspect that he's someone who's never cheated, never needed to. And
he speaks about that today.
Did he?
In the interview, he says that he advises against youngsters doing it.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think he would be a very different personality from Hans Niemann. And I think that yes, that could well be part of it, that he would very much disapprove of the fact that Niemann has got this cheating record in the past. And actually, there's been a lot of general discussions, from what I can see, amongst a lot of chess players, about that there has been a lot of a rise of cheating online, just between the average sort of player. Like, I'm not an average player, I'm a very below average player, but you must probably, if you play 20 games, David, I suspect that there's a chance that at least one of your 20 opponents is running an analysis board at the same time and having a quick look to see what the computer suggests.
And me too. And
that must happen. Yeah, I'd say one out of every 20 games. Maybe it's one of every 10. So it is, I think, a common thing. It's probably way less common over the board. Because it's much harder, as you say, unless you can go to the toilet and quickly get your phone out and look up something or read a book, but
the games have been analysed by an expert. I watched that in an interview with an expert who is a mathematician. I don't know his name, but he's in America, I think, and he's analysed the games, and he said, well, in a nutshell, in my own words, of course, he said that there's no way we can see that this is any of those moves have been gained from a. Now I was thinking about I've forgotten the name of the computer that made chess look like it was dead, and
not
it's
Fritz.
really
Wasn't Fritz.
No, just about 7 years ago, the one that can play all sorts of odd sort of moves and that on the board, and beat Stockfish and everything like that. That one.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm complete.
No, I don't know.
But the moves, they trained the computer. It was like they had a computer made in about 10 hours, 6 hours, and it was already beating the strongest Stockfish and computer program, or Fritz, if that's still available. So I'm just, I just want to sort of quieten down a bit and just keep getting your feedback and that sort of thing.
But I mean, some people say this is terrible for chess, but I suspect the publicity is still quite good for chess. Chess is being talked about. People, Magnus Carlsen's quite a big name even outside of chess. You know, he meets footballers and basketballers, and he, you know, he's got big sponsorships. Yeah. Nakamura, the same with his streaming, and he's got big sponsorships. And chess is probably never enjoyed as much limelight as it's been getting since the Queen's Gambit and COVID and all the rest of it. So chess is in a boom period, and now a little bit of a drama like this is probably what the marketing people absolutely want. You know, yeah, young guy, old guy, bit of a tension. Is there cheating or isn't there? Well, nobody knows. But this is feeding on and feeding on, and yeah. Actually the drama merchants will be going, yes, yeah, more. But what will we see? I suspect we will see in these major tournaments with the super grandmasters even more security. I wonder that you know, often there's commentators talking about the games. Maybe they'll have to do them on a delay. Maybe. You know, the two players will play and nobody can talk about the move, can talk about it without a half an hour delay. So there's nobody getting someone else's interpretation and them discussing alternative moves. And
I hadn't thought of that. But St. Louisa, of course, you got Shirayan and you know, wonderful wonderful chess player, and you got all that. But like this whole thing, this put me off chess. I mean, like if it was serious, if Magnus really did what he did, because I've been watching some Hikaru comments and that sort of thing, and also Grandmaster Ben Feingold. Ben Feingold says you don't ever pull out of a round robin, no matter what. You never pull out of a round robin. We've got 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to upgrade. You don't see anything on the screen, do you?
No, I don't see anything. No.
So what's the time now? Okay, so I've got 10 minutes.
But you know, I'm like you in that I haven't wanted to play chess for a few days. I will tackle Stockfish level 5 or level 6 on my computer again. That's about as far as I go. If only it would play ordinary openings, I'd be all right. But you look, it's interesting times for chess, and but you know, it just makes you aware that, well, if cheating is there going on in live chess and chess.com amongst, you know, 1,400 players and 1,200 players and 2,000 players and 2,200 players even, then it could be going on at higher levels and lower levels, and who knows. But we haven't heard the end of it, David. We're going to hear more.
No, and that's, I mean, like that, it could be what we've come up with ourselves just in this meeting, and I really appreciate it. And I'm going to be buying your coffee tomorrow. That'll be nice. I'll enjoy that.
Good man. I look forward to that.
Yeah, so it's
can you run to one of those Southern cheese rolls, Dave?
we might try to smuggle in. We might try to smuggle something into the cafe.
Yeah.
But I'm
tell you what, though, chess as a game is so brilliant. It's such a wonderful game on so many levels that that it will survive this. It will survive.
Of course, it will survive. Alpha Zero, that's it. Alpha Zero.
Alpha Zero, right? Yes.
Yeah, Alpha Zero. I've got I think it, you know, like I just think it's something to do with the personalities, and like,
I think you're right.
mean, like, if I don't like someone, it's hard to sit down with them at the board.
Yeah. And shake their hand.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I have seen some antics in the past, which I'm quite capable of doing. But I've myself just recently, I often get an alert from Lead Chess, which I'm on all the time. Not all the time, but I'm on it. I get an alert from Lead Chess to say, oh, we've noticed that someone was cheating using, software enhancement or whatever, I can read it out to you. I can put it up as my thumbnail, and I'm in Dunedin again. It's amazing, because a family member is not in Dunedin at the moment, is in Australia. So I'm coming back to look after Mum, or Mum's looking after me. But the situation was what was I saying? I've had the alerts for cheats. That there have been cheats, and that they've put me up 2 more places or something like that, and tournament that I was in also. So that happens quite a bit. But
how do they work out?
Oh, they've got a software, they've got software that can detect it. And it's to do with performance and all that sort of thing. And like, if I look at the game I had, I played a couple of Grandmasters the other day, on the Saturday, actually, on the Saturday, the 11th, no, the 18th. 18th? Yeah, 18th. Yeah, and like, if you look at that game, if you look at the game with the Grandmaster playing, one Grandmaster and the other one got second and the other got third. But I look at those games and I think, oh yeah, I played pretty well, or the Grandmaster played pretty well, but the Grandmaster's getting 2 question marks next to his move, Okay, well, that's 5-minute chess, but it's just so they don't expect to get such a high ratio of performance moves from a human than they would from a computer, in my own words.
No, that makes sense. So if I'm 1500 or something, and if I suddenly started making all the right moves, like the #1 computer moves, that would be pretty suspicious. And if I didn't make one of my normal blunders as well, that would be even more suspicious.
Ditto. And the same, some people I know mix it up. They mix it up. They sort of like use the computer a little bit, and that's what the Gotham Chess, the international master there from Canada or America, one or the other, he says that that's quite often what happens. There's also a tempo in the moves, which is a word that you understand. So there's a tempo. There's a move like, it's really basic, really obvious. You got to play capture, like pawn takes queen capture. After I've taken your queen, you go, and it sits here, dun dun dun, move, dun dun dun, move. Or else it's just so strong, like you just said, that the opponent is so strong comparative to their 1600 rating. No,
that's right. So but look, it's good to talk about this, because it's fascinating. And being an outsider, here we are in the bottom of the world, down here in New Zealand, and yet it's an issue here. It's, we are talking about it here just as much as people are talking about it in Europe and Norway and in America, and watching it with great interest. And now I want to see Antonio from Agard Mata or someone dissect Niemann versus Chucky, or Niemann, just to see, well, did someone just blunder, or were these extraordinary moves, or actually was it just a mixture of some good moves and the opponent making some errors, which is probably the case. But we're just about out of time, I think.
Oh, we are. We've got like 2 minutes, so I'm going to leave you to
Oh,
close
okay,
it.
that's good. That's
And,
good.
Yeah, I got 2 and 20 seconds to go, and
Yeah.
I'm going to have to make sure I push the stop button, or it's going to. But I'll.
It will just blow up on you.
I did my Sudoku before I came here, and I did the out of the star, and I did the hard one, and I just finished. Did I finish the? No, I didn't. But here it is here.
Oh, nearly finished.
No, the bottom one's finished.
Oh, the bottom one, it is too. Yes, it is too. Sorry.
It is finished. Look.
Okay, I'll do the star one now in the midweeker. I'll do it now.
Okay. Well,
after,
I'm going to.
I'll bring it to the.
Leave you.
I'll tell you if I got it out.
Off.
I'll bring it to coffee tomorrow.
Okay, you can do that. And can you?
I love
please
Sudoku.
close...
Actually, I do one a day. Yeah.
It's take up chess. If you can't do chess, take up Sudoku. That's what Grandmaster Mari Chandler says. If you're no good at chess, yeah, he says in his book.
Yeah.
And,
he must have been thinking.
And guess what? And guess what, Peter? I'm going to end this. I'm going to end this meeting, because what I'm going to say is, my mother. Look, the bottom part of the paper is not on there, because guess what my mother does? She always cheats. She always looks at the. She does the code cracker, and she cheats all the time. And she said, "Oh," and I said, "Why do it? Why? Okay. Thank you very much. I love you very much. And good on you, St Kilda.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow at 11.
Okay.
Take care. Cheers.